misplaced. The bunny used to belong to his grandma. The other one used to belong to your friend's mom, and she dressed it as a wizard, which was also unapologetically more representative of her interests than yours. That's okay though, you love the gesture anyway, and you and she are totally BFFCs forevers. Her words. And you agree with them. You did get one more bunny from your other pal. He had to make it himself from scratch, since for some ridiculous reason, he didn't happen to have a ratty old bunny heirloom lying around. His gift was somewhat less innocuous. You have no idea where it is though, probably just as well. Jane, look out window. You've been fidgeting around your room all day, making little observations about your various belongings, checking the clock. When will the dang mail get here? You take another peek out of the window, just in case. Oh, it's still not there. But there is your dad. What is he up to? He just capture-logged the car. Oh, that's right. He was going to wash it today. He's probably taking it into the backyard next to the garden hose. He keeps a very busy fatherly itinerary. So many dad things to do today. If the mail arrives soon, this would be a great opportunity to sneak out and get it. Oh, fingers crossed. Oh, looks like somebody is bothering you. You better make it quick. You've got a window to stay glued to. Jane, go to computer. You know you really should switch to Pester Chum. It's what your friends use, and it's a lot better than Betty Bother, if you're being honest with yourself. BB is just so spammy and annoying with all of the pop-ups everywhere. Ugh, look at this dreadful clutter. You have got to switch. But then, brand loyalty is a powerful thing. Looks like Jake is messaging you. Jane, answer Jake.
Jane, forgive my botherations. I know this is meant to be a spanking rib snorter of a day for you and all, but do you happen to know where the devil fucking Dickens Mr. Strider might be?
Oh, that's fine. I had been meaning to message you sooner, actually, but I suppose in all the hubbub today, it plumb slipped my mind. Which is a shocking fact on its lonesome, considering what I have to tell you.
Egad. Loosens collar a bit.
As for the Strider business, he's an elusive guy, Jake. Yesterday. That's as much help as I can be.
Shoot. I really need to ask him something, but he's got his blasted autoresponder turned on.
I love that thing.
He wouldn't be pleased to hear you say that.
What do you need with him? Does this have to do with your crazy pen pal project?
It most certainly does, and time is of the essence. Today is the day I have to finish and send it, not a day later. So, you see why I'm feeling really frigging discombobulated at the moment.
Sorry, Jay. This would be the birthday present for your grandmother?
No, it's for your grandfather simply to be relayed to him by my grandmother. A joint gift to him from she and I.
Her and me.
What? Who and you now?
A joint gift from her and me. Grammar, Jake.
Oh, for frig's flipping sake, Jane! This is no time for your prudish pedantry. Leave your bookish malarkey in a dusty old library somewhere. I have an adventure to get on with.
So if I have this straight, the big thing hogging up your plate today is not this marvelous new game which I have invited you to play with me, but finishing a robotic rabbit to give to my dead pop-up?
Bingo! Double pistols and a wink.
You are a very strange and silly boy.
Please, Jane, we have addressed this. I am sending the gift back in time to when they were both alive and about our age. Or something like that. Something funny is going on here that I have not fully grappled yet, but dag-nabbit if I'm not gonna see it through.
Well, Godspeed then. I do hope you can pull it off.
Are you being fresh with me now?
No!
Look, Jane, I know you've never believed me, and you think everything I say is some big cockamamie goof-off, but I think today of all days is when you should start taking some things more seriously. Especially since I've always had your back. I have always believed in you.
Hey, I have believed in you too. However, believing somebody isn't the same thing as believing in somebody. But that much said, I think that maybe I'm getting ready to believe some of the wild stories I've heard. Or, if not believe outright, reserve judgment on, at least.
Is that so?
I don't know. I'm still not sure what to think. But what I wanted to tell you this morning was, I had a really wild dream last night, and you were in it.
Oh my. Glasses fog up, fumbles for kerchief.
Shh, not like that. It was so real. I think we were in the game, even though we haven't started playing yet. I don't know what to make of it. Whether it was a vision of the future, or somewhere that exists now. Or if it was just a really lucid dream due to excitement.
What was I doing there?
Not a heck of a lot. I really wanted to tell you about it, but it will take some time to explain, and we both have things to attend to. You with your time-traveling rabbit work, and I, my vigilant window gazing.
Too true. Let us reconvene later and sort all this shit out at a leisurely pace.
Yes, okay, good luck, Jake.
Okay, you too, Jane. Bye!
Jane, check clock. Hold the phone. 11:10. You almost forgot. 1 minute until the Empire's rebranding launch. You wonder if it will live up to the hype. Guess you'll find out. Jane, wait a minute. You ride out another 60 seconds and... Something happened to your baking chest. Did the logo just change? You wonder what else may have been affected. Jane, look around. Yep, this one changed too. Crocker Corp is nothing if not thorough with its branding tactics. You guess it's pretty cool. It's just a fork instead of a spoon. Not the most awe-inspiring logo you've ever seen. But who are you to judge? Aside from the future owner of the company. You make a mental note that when you turn 18 and inherit the company, you will change it back to a spoon. You love the spoon. Jane, examine Bowlbuster. Sure enough, the Junior Batter Master's Bowlbuster Stirring Solution 50,000 has been affected too, along with your Specibus. Jane, try flipping switch. You tried the broken switch again. Hey, look, it does something now. Toggling your trusty Bowlbuster between a stirring solution and a poking solution. Neat. Jane, back to the window. Nope, still nothing. You surely would have heard the truck pull up. You guess the Empire wasn't able to coordinate the mail with its rebranding. Maybe the US Postal Service is the one thing it doesn't have its gnarled claws in yet. Another mental note, sink gnarled claws into post office when you take over. Jane, open chest. You decide to pass the time by rummaging through your baking chest and... Oh, hang on. Maybe later. Jane, answer.
Good morning, lovely.
Why, hello.
So I guess today is finally the day you make everything better. It is the day where after the legendary octet of mutual progenitariety will come together and heal a great breach in paradox space. A day delivered through 80 billion years and 4 distinct universal instances worth of unfathomable turbulence. And while the emerald eye of this storm is fixed in the abyss forever, today you are poised to escape its scowl once and for all. By Skya's guiding light, turning arms of bright colours and mayhem, and secure peace for your cosmic progeny for all duration. And if you are to meet this departure with trepidation, I would understand. But also, I would ask, is there nothing I can do to ease your mind?
Gosh, so formal today.
Yes. I'm afraid I am guilty of rehearsing this pep talk well in advance. I thought you deserved a proper send-off.
Aww.
Well then, is there nothing I can do? It was a serious question.
You needn't worry about easing my nerves. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be nearly as thrilled about today as I am.
Splendid! But remember, I will be here to help, whilst refraining from causal spoilers to the best of my ability.
That is reassuring.
Have you corresponded with your first designated co-player yet?
No, I haven't seen her online yet today. I'm really hoping Lalonde won't flake out on me this time. Have you heard from her?
Not the today that is local to you, though I do have a wee bit more trouble monitoring her than the rest of you. Curious dark patches in transmission. Still, I wouldn't fret over it. She is as good a charm as any you have, and should come through ultimately, even if things seem dire.
If you say so. Oh, I wanted to tell you, I had an amazing dream last night.
Blimey!
I believe it may have been of the sort you described. A dream of awakening. Presuming I haven't just flat out lost my marbles.
Indeed, I'm sure it was. I knew you would wake up soon. Might you describe what you saw?
I was in a bright gold city. Above was a brilliant blue sky, but the horizon was dark as night. Was this the place you told me about? What was it called? Aw, shucks. Does this count as a causal spoiler?
Not at all. That is a simple detail about the realm you are about to explore, without directly involving your future decisions of consequence. The place you visited was called Prospit. It is where I have woken up every time I've gone to sleep for most of my life.
I didn't see you there. At least, I don't think I did.
No, you wouldn't have. My Prospit is an alternate version from yours, in a completely different session, quite far afield of your reality. If we are ever to meet in person, it is unlikely to be while playing our respective games.
Okay then. I mentioned this briefly to Jake, and he didn't have much to say before we parted ways. I will gather that if this is all true, then it means Jake had not awoken yet?
I think this is for you to determine in time. What is your hunch?
I don't know. But there was one thing about the dream that was very troubling. I'm becoming nervous to consider what it might mean.
Understandable. But it will be important to practice patience today. You have a long road ahead of you, and many questions will be answered in time. But we can talk it over later. Now, we both have games to prepare for. I know you could never fully appreciate what this actually meant, but I took much care to sync up these conversations with you on the same day that I begin playing as well. That way we can journey through our sessions together and compare notes.
I'm still not sure I appreciate what that means, but I appreciate that a nice gesture has been made if you say so. I guess I should start believing all of this now, huh? Rather than learning it to be true later and feeling the fool for all my curmudgeonly skepticism. For starters, I guess I could drop my reservations about your story.
Will you?
I can write off much to tomfoolery, as I'm no stranger to a good prank myself. But quite honestly, you seem too kind for this charade. Not the type I'd expect to trot out such persistent falsehoods beyond their humorous welcome. So what do I know? Consarn it, maybe you are an alien girl from Uranus, and together we are about to play a game which determines the fate of existence. Sign me up!
Oh, but I never claimed to be from that planet, which is only in the far reaches of your solar system. In fact, I am from much farther away, a different universe altogether. But if you truly mean it, thank you for believing me. Now, Jane, my lovely, let us prepare for this adventure. Remember what I said about the need for patience. Patience with your friends, patience for your growth as a hero of life, and patience for the coming of the other four of legend. A hero of breath, and of light, and of time, and of space. And if you still find yourself in doubt, just check the inscription on that big old book downstairs. After all, if you can't trust words written by your own hand, then what use is trust at all? Kisses!
Okay, back to the chest. You return to your baking chest, which you use mainly for storing quality pranking apparatus, and a few other odds and ends. Oh, hello, Pop-Up. His friendly face is there to greet you every time you open your chest. You would have loved to meet him. Unfortunately, his life was cut short at the tender age of 86 in a tragic accident. Coincidentally, on the same day you were born, or so your dad tells you. Pop-Up Crocker was a legendary comedian, following in the footsteps of his grandfather, who of course was the greatest southern pranking legend of all time. One day, you hope to follow in Pop-Ups too. But then, if the whoppers you have been told recently have any truth to them, maybe you will get to It Seems Too Good to Be True. The only relationship you've ever had with him are through footage of his vaudeville antics on stage, or through his role as Judge Johnny Stone on one of your favourite old sitcoms, Night Court. Jane, rummage around. Oh, a few clever disguises, a name-brand dunce cap, bridged edition of Sasuke's text, updated for the modern prankster, and scrubbed of a few of the more egregious julep-fueled racial slurs. Your company's prototypical model for the Grist Widget 12,000, and, of course, your super handy Unreal Era's Thoughtwave Tiara top for your young go-getting junior Battermaster on the go. Jane, dump chest. Might as well get all this crap out here and take it with you. You never know when you might need it. You shut the chest and... Oh. Hello, Harry Anderson. Always a pleasure to see you there. He is also one of your idols, and as it happens, has a bit of a history with your pop-up. They were rivals on the vaudeville comedy and magic act circuit. Eventually, the less competent Anderson was shamed out of the industry, and went on to greener pastures in the prime one of the hardest-boiled detectives on the mean streets of the Big Easy, and later made a fortune off of his memoirs, ghostwritten by Mike Caveney. Jane, capture log all. Oh, your Celodex is so great. Some of the old shit you used to struggle with when you were younger. Still learning the capture logging ropes. Fibonacci heap? Lol, the effing noob. Jane, inspect books. You have a cookbook, which of course was made obsolete by your computerized talking bowlbuster. You wouldn't dare part with it though. Too many wonderful memories. There's Anderson's aforementioned book, Wise Guy. His, Caveney's, stories are gripping, in a way. And there's a customized copy of Pony Pals, a gift to you on your 14th birthday from the slippery Mr. Strider. Each page contains lovingly handwritten commentary on the deeds of this intrepid young horse. Jane, check out Gristwidget. This thing's a piece of junk. It just wastes your boon dollars and destroys your cool gear to produce these stupid things that look like gushers. But unlike gushers, which serve many practical purposes like inducing vomiting and simulating the experience of eating plump insects, these things are totally useless. Jane, insert hat card. Okay, you'll try it out with one of your less prized possessions just to prove how dumb it is. You never liked this hat much. It makes you look like a gnome, and basically isn't funny at all. You pop the card in, the grist widget indicates that it will cost 10 boon dollars to convert this object into grist. That's not too bad, you guess. It's not like the currency has much value anyway. It was introduced as a sort of BC Corp fun bucks, to be used by youngsters specifically on qualifying merch online and stuff. As heiress to the Empire, you are endowed with millions, which you have a reputation for being very generous with. You have been considering using your wealth to set up a scholarship fund to allow underprivileged kids to go to Boone College. Jane, activate. See? Utterly pointless. You hope Crocker Corp was going somewhere with this technology, because if not, this product is first in line for getting the axe when you're in charge. Jane, wear tiara top. You put on your highly fashionable Unreal Heiress Thoughtwave tiara top, and flip it on. It immediately hums to life as its blazing fast processors mingle with your thoughts. It is the most efficient computing technology in the world by far. As long as you don't wear it for too long. But aside from a few migraines, you can't possibly imagine any drawbacks that could come with merging your thoughts with an experimental technology from an extremely powerful corporation. Wait, what? Jane, continue vigilant window gazing. To go to Boone College. Efficient computing technology in the world by far. As long as you don't wear it for too long. But aside from a few migraines, you can't possibly imagine any drawbacks that could come with merging your thoughts with an experimental technology from an extremely powerful corporation. Wait, what? Jane, continue a few migraines. You can't possibly imagine any drawbacks that could come with merging your thoughts with an experimental technology from an extremely powerful corporation. Wait, what? Jane, continue vigilant window gazing. Still no sign of the mail. Might as well keep the tiara top on while you look, even if it means suffering through all these bullshit pop-up ads. That way, you can keep an eye out for Lalonde while you're at it. Oh, speak of the devil fucking Dickens. Jane, answer Lalonde.
Jane. Hey, Janie. Answer, please. Answer. Jane.
React much? I kept you waiting for all of 2 seconds. Where have you been today?
No, we're just chilling here. When all of a sudden...
All of a sudden?
when all of the sudden... Yes, just a few days before mine, remember? Or I guess it would be if it wasn't for the end of the world that's about to happen.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
I just wanted your advice on what to get him. Something sentimental, I guess? But, I mean, I'm mostly tapped out of precious heirlooms, ATM, so it's okay. But not like anything coming on too strong. Something that says, this is totes platonic and everything. No eyebrow-raising funny business going on over here. But still says, you know, call me if you wanna.
Grr. Now I know you're joking around to get my goat.
Yeah. The goat getting thing, I mean, but joking? Oh no, I think not. You don't think that if I didn't say he was off limits on account of you being my best friend, I wouldn't be all the hell over that? Damn, that rugged sense of adventure, the delightful, silly vernacular, it's like weirdly and bewitchingly not self-aware. Those adorable teeth. Heart.
No, stop!
Well, shit, Jane. What am I even supposed to do? I can't hit on anybody, and apparently nary a frisky thought about anybody because apparently everybody's off limits. Bunch of goddamn typos. Shit sucks. You don't even let me say your dad is hot, even though we both know who way the fuck is. I mean, come on.
Yeah, because it's weird. And you're drunk.
Correction. Drinking. Present tense. Grammar, Jane.
Try to court the favor of Mr. Strider. If you ask me, he and you are perfect for each other.
Oh, Jane. So naive. So naive.
Lordy, how can you be this far gone so early? It isn't even noon yet.
You forget, we live in very different time zones. It's a lot later here.
You're 3 hours ahead of me.
You would be amazed how much can happen in 3 hours.
What would your mother have to say if she caught you?
Pretty sure she wouldn't give a shit. I mean, she's the one who stocked the goddamn liquor cabinets in the first place. I don't even think she ever had a drop in her life, probably. So, why else is she putting it there? It was like a passive-aggressive dare for me. Aggressive. Just the sort of mind game she would play.
So even if your insane and paranoid theory happens to be true, your response is, screw it. Time to help myself to this mind game booze.
Yep.
Grown. You are completely impossible like this. I cannot believe you chose to do this today of all days. I should have known better. Here I am waking up bright and early, waiting all with my nose pressed against this glass for the mail to come, and wondering if you'll ever log on. And all the while you are just getting blind stinking schnogger-bottomed drunk.
What you waiting for? In the mail. Is something happening today or something?
Ugh, the alpha! Jeez Louise, you are hopeless.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Are you at all ready to play if it comes?
I guess. But you sure you even want to play this thing? You know it's just what the Batter Witch wants you to do.
Not this again.
If you want to go ahead and be a chump, Jane, is your call. I'm just saying, I know what a chump looks like. And you don't look like no chump I ever saw. If you go through with this, I'll have to add your profile to my chump roll, which is like this real, actual thing I maintain, instead of being a joke. Is that what you want?
The Batter Witch does not exist. It is an idiotic urban legend. How many times have I explained this? My great-grandmother, who founded the company and is accused of holding this identity, would have to be almost 200 years old if she were still alive today. The idea is such preposterous hogwash, it's hardly worth dignifying with a rational response. The iconic face of the company isn't even a real person! She was fabricated long ago during the company's fledgling years.
Right. As, an alter ego? For something more sinister?
Such cuckoo bird nonsense. In any case, I don't understand the nature of the second guessing, besides chalking it up to your unwelcome inebriation. We had agreed you would play with me. You sounded excited about it. Have you even obtained your copy yet?
Yes. Obtained. Sure did.
Through your various technologically cryptographic means, I presume?
Oh, you bet. Hacked the shit out of those tight mainframes and all. Said jackpot like a bunch of times. All those ciphers and bobby traps, backdoor trojans and whatnot were no match for my codes. Snicker.
I'm quizzically narrowing my eyes, trying to solve the joke you're attempting, assuming it even is one.
Okay, Jane, what I'm saying is that, in the parlance of baking, cause I know that is what gets you off, is that it was a fucking cakewalk. A cakewalk.
Oh.
Like, by which I mean not to say, I'm hot as shit, hacksaw bitch you ever knew, as dead laid to the corporate grid as she is beautiful, which I am, but what I mean is shit wasn't even guarded. It was just some files that were there unsecured, and I took them, jacked them right off of that interweb telematrix, then applied lipstick, femme fatale style, and was like, shit, yes, I all kinds of know how to use my web browser to download server files.
Really?
Yeah, so now I got it. If you really want to play, which you shouldn't.
That is a bit puzzling. I thought the software was highly proprietary.
I told you, she wants you to play. Wants us all to. Part of her big plans, and you're playing right into them. Like a
I know. You've made yourself clear. But what doesn't add up about your story is, I believe somebody doesn't want me to play. How else do you explain the recent attempts on my life?
Dunno. Someone out there wants the stock price to take a hit?
There.
Or it's just more connivings of the witch.
So this hypothetical monstrosity wants me to succeed, but also wants me to die? Makes a lot of sense.
Wouldn't put it past her. Makes you feel persecuted. Redoubles your determination to play. You advance her plans in whatever incomprehensible way until suddenly you did everything she needed you to, at which point you become crazy expendable, yo, and then she expends you like a wad of boon dollars on shitty BC merch.
I see. This is sounding less like a crackpot conspiracy theory by the minute.
Whatever. All I'm saying is a bunch of stuff that's def true to the max. I'll send this file to you, though, and what you do with it's up to you. So you want it now or what?
It's tempting, and I'm curious as heck to play it. But the mail should be coming any minute. I've waited this long for it, so I might as well use the official disc addressed to me. When it comes, I do hope you'll change your tune. Not to mention brew yourself a pot of coffee and sober your drunk butt up.
My drunk butt's tune will stay as unchanged as it will remain not drunk. Make my barley coherent words.
Okay, fair enough. But I believe that when we start playing together, you'll come around. Personally, I can hardly contain my excitement over it. If years ago someone told me, which incidentally, someone did, that today I would have an exclusive opportunity to play what is absolutely the most cutting-edge immersive simulation game ever released, developed by a company which has already done so much for the advancement of humanity, I would have said, shucks, Buster, sign me up.
Jane.
Yes?
Jane.
What?
Jane, did you know that I am utterly in love with the fact that I have a best friend who says things like, shucks, Buster?
Shush you, drunkie, hoo-hoo. Oh!
WTF?
The thing! The flappy thing, Dad! The arm dealy! The dealy lalong the dealy!
What?
The god darn red swinging flappy lever arm thingy-mabob, whatever it's called, on the mailbox!
Breathe, Crocker. Slow breaths like this. And breathe in regular. FYI.
It's up! It's up! It's up! It's up!
I don't get a lot of mail out here, and I'm no mail expert, but doesn't that mean not the right thing? Like, you're supposed to put it up if you want something taken away, not have the guy put it up if mail comes. I think your mailman is quite possibly a dumbass.
No! Who cares about that? The dealy! The dealy! It's up! It's up! It's here! It's here! It's here! Ah!
LMA so fucking owing this.
Be right back.
Jane, prepare to retrieve mail. You scamper over to the door, but pause a second to think. Is your dad still washing the car? Hopefully, he's still preoccupied so you can sneak out. But it doesn't hurt to be prepared for an encounter. Luckily, that is exactly what you are. Jane, don clever disguise. Why? Is that his loving daughter? Or could it be none other than Inspector Jacques Clouseau? Mr. Clouseau, what are you doing in this household? Can I bake you a cake? Please, make yourself comfortable while I go about my business not being suspicious. But wait. Perhaps that is not so much the distinguished Inspector Clouseau as it is the world-renowned investigator Hercule Poirot, because the little curly mustache is a lot cuter. The great Poirot in this house? Such an honor. I will set the kettle to boil straight away. Who would have guessed this home would be so heavily trafficked by famous French detectives at this time of day? Oh my, the good Poirot appears to be clucking little pleasantries in his adorable French accent through the high-pitched voice of an enthusiastic teen girl. I surely don't have the heart to ground this upstanding dapper gentleman, no matter how many dastardly attempts are made on her life. Yeah, this is a really shitty disguise. Now Jane, exit. You make a cautious motion toward a beckoning exit knob. When suddenly the same wild character select screen reapproaches non-threateningly. You note that you still cannot pick one of the shadowy characters. But maybe you haven't been the other guy yet. That means it's time to click him. Or maybe you already have been him. In which case you are done with this thing. The narrative really has no way of knowing. Your ass remains firmly planted in the driver's seat. As always. Be Jake. And just like that, back to Jake. What was it you were up to? Oh, right. You were going to pick these dang guns up off the floor when you were into by some fleeting, imperceptible thought. You kind of space out sometimes. Jake, about those arms. Right. You pick up your twin M9 Berettas, Sir Arsenal inherited from an eccentric old woman. Guns are so cool. Your grandma was rad. Jake, examine holster belt. It's your authentic Tomb Raider sexy thigh strap double holster, complete with cool skull buckle, and I'd like to think you pull it off about as well as Croft herself. Jake, wear it. You like to think that, but in truth you look ridiculous. You think you probably need shorter shorts to make it work? Preferably skin-tight shorts too. As it is, the cuffs of your baggy shorts get kind of bunched up underneath the thigh straps, which is uncomfortable and makes you look like a tool. Okay, forget it. Better off just keeping it in your strife deck. You can draw the guns faster from there anyway. Now Jake, examine bed. You think your bed is some sort of electronic gadget. You're pretty sure those bedpost globes are supposed to glow like light bulbs under certain circumstances. But you've never been able to figure out what purpose it serves. Just more mysterious junk inherited from your eclectic grandma. She also gave you these bed sheets when you were very young, which you adore, but only for sentimental reasons. You aren't too keen on monsters. Jake, examine posters. Which posters? Your whole room is nothing but posters. Sometimes you find it hard to focus on any one of them. You just relax your eyes and get lost in all the incredible heroes and adventures which exploded from the silver screen and into your bedroom, as well as your heart. Movies are so great. You have never seen a movie you didn't like. You are pretty sure. People give you a hard time for that, though. Gosh, you love movies. Almost as much as you love skulls. And movies that have skulls in them, oh my god. So wonderful. Jake, scope out those blue chicks. This is your collection of beauties. But you don't call them that to anyone but yourself in private. Because somehow even you are aware of how dorky that sounds. You are oft times the recipient of a good ribbing from Jane on account of your peculiar fascination with blue movie ladies. Oh, you don't have to justify yourself to her, though. What is even her deal? Any fella would be off his rocker not to fawn over all these bodacious blue knockouts. You want to make out with all of them. Jake, make out with all of them. Dear sweet Neytiri from James Cameron's Avatar. Oh, if only you were the one who could have overcome his paralysis on an alien adventure planet to become her boyfriend, instead of that other guy. Then, she could have shown you how to be bold and courageous, and stand up to fight for your people. And maybe later, engage in a bizarre extraterrestrial reproductive process involving ponytails and a magical tree, you guess. You'll show that curmudgeonly Strider who's just a gigantic shitty space furry. You'll show him what marvelous creatures they are. You'll show him what a daring dream it is to combine the finest qualities of humanity with. But seriously, you've got to stop kissing the stupid poster. Jake, stop kissing stupid poster. Yes, that was a waste of time. Definitely. It's definitely not something you spend much time doing whenever you're alone. Which is always. Anyway, here are some other great movies. Weekend at Bernie's? Classic. You really think John would like this movie, if the things you have heard about him are true? Guys in cahoots make the silly corpse of Bernie Lomax do zany puppet antics so their schemes can succeed. Guffaws aplenty, as you have tried to tell Jade before practically verbatim. She doesn't much care for great movies like that, But that's alright. You love her anyway, and you think she's a blast. She says you sound just like John when you say stuff like that, though. And that the two of you would get along famously. You can't wait to meet him. And there are some cage flicks here. But who doesn't love a good cage flick? Nobody is who. Dang, you would kill to get your hands on some authentic cage movie memorabilia. But that'll probably have to remain a crazy dream. Jake, examine package. Speaking of John, this is his birthday present. It is the project that has been taking up all your time lately, and today is the deadline to finish it. You have to send it to Jade so that she has the time to ship it to him across the Pacific Ocean. The transmaterializer you have been using to ship it back and forth is wired to sync up your flow of time with hers. So it's not like you can just take forever with it, and send it to the exact time she needs it. You've thought of that, and considering this bunny is probably going back to the early 20th century, when she and John were around your age, you figure the mail was extra slow back then. So there is not a moment to spare. Woo, time stuff is pretty complicated, but you are fairly sure you've got this figured out. Jake, examine bunny. Sure is gonna be a sweet gift. Reminds you a lot of the old ratty bunny you inherited from your grandma, who of course is exactly who you are collaborating with to make this thing. Time loops always make you feel a bit fuzzy in the head, but you've always suspected it could very well be the same bunny. At some point in the early 20th century, Jade gave this robo-rabbit to John, and then later it must have wound up back with Jade. Somehow? Then she, removed all the robot parts, hung onto it until she was an old woman, and gave it to you? You guess crazier things have happened. Like the way this whole project started in the first. Tells you this little rabbit here, or Terry Kaiser as you like to call him, will save John's life. He will be sitting there on some sort of chessboard battlefield in yellow pajamas, reading a letter when pow! Kaiser to the rescue. So, you are taking this responsibility very seriously. You have been for years already. The project gave you a neat idea for what to do for Jane's 13th birthday a couple years ago. You and your other pals all coordinated gifts, each sending a customized rabbit. Lalonde happened to have another bunny heirloom like yours. And Strider... well, Strider was resourceful, as usual. If John enjoys his gift anywhere near as much as Jane did, then it will be time well spent. There's just one problem. Mr. Kaiser here cannot be completed and tested today without a source of power. You will need a little chunk of uranium to power the robot, and you are fresh out of the stuff. You have been plundering all of your devices for uranium to refuel the transmaterializer, which requires huge amounts of power anytime it centrifugates or repurifies the package from the past. Seems to you like excessive energy consumption for just a simple time machine. But what do you know? Unless it's doing something besides shipping it across time. You couldn't imagine what, though. You really should have remembered to ask Jade for some uranium in your last letter to her. Now you're in a fix. You even yanked the uranium out of your cookalizer and refrigerator. You haven't had a decent meal in weeks. Just a lot of canned food from the ruins. This project has been difficult enough as it is without additional bumps in the road like this. You aren't really the best guy at building machines. Jade has been a big help, but she says she couldn't do this alone. As much as it troubles your pride to admit, this project wouldn't be possible without help from your other two technologically savvy friends. And you are slowly coming to the regrettable uranium dilemma without asking for Strider's assistance. He's your best bro and all, but the dude never makes anything easy. Jake, take Bunny. You stash Terry in your puzzle modus. It's quite a handy modus. Allow capture log objects you can fit them all in a finite space by maneuvering the cards around like a big game of Tetris. You like it because it keeps you sharp for solving any puzzles you might find when you go out raiding hallowed tombs. Which is never. The bunny fits in okay, but it's a tight squeeze. The space in your inventory is mainly hogged up by one incredibly huge thing. You guess you should get rid of it, but you can't shake the feeling you might need it someday, and you don't want to risk ditching it and be caught with your pants down later. Jake, examine comics. On your work table, there are a few comic books starring your favourite heroine of all, Spider-Girl. You don't know what it is, but there's something about a girl who has spidery powers and a sassy attitude that is just so cool to you. It's just another quirky fact about you that definitely doesn't have any greater significance, and never will. Jake, take comics. Oh, horse feathers! Forcing the comics into your puzzle Sylladex knocked out a bunch of other crap. You have seriously got to reorganize this thing. What were you even thinking capture-logging all those bullets at one time anyway? Well, as long as one of your preposterously numerous computers has spilled out of your Sylladex, you might as well stop procrastinating and contact Strider too. Oh, hang on. Maybe later. Jake, answer.
Hello there, darling. Mwah!
Ahoy, madame!
I don't relish troubling you with more arm twisting. I'm sure for all I've done so far, you've had a jolly good workout already. But you will be ready to deliver the package today, yes?
I'm determined as ever to see this through, but as usual, events have conspired to make a boondoggle of this prospect. I think I might be... I'll have to ask him for help. And soon.
Well, there you go, love. Better hop to it.
Yes, I will. But also, there's the matter of the rabbit's armaments. I don't imagine he'll do a lot of friggin' good in helping Grandfather Crocker from kicking the old bucket without them. Did you not say you'd supply these?
I did indeed say so. And have already done.
You did? When?
In your future. I relayed the information enabling you to create the powerful weaponry yourself. And you did. You then sent them back in time. You may recover them in the ruins, which conveniently is where you must go to ship the package once and for all. Bang up plan we hatched, don't you fancy?
I see. Yes, it sure is if that is the case. Then all that's left to do is find power for it. Oh, and also enough power for the stupid transmateria bob. Ugh! So much to do before shuttling this goddamn thing into the past. I mean, that is what I'm doing, right? Giving it to my grandma when she was a kid, growing up on the same island I did?
That is somewhat close to the truth, and I can see how you would draw that conclusion. But there's more to it you don't understand yet. You will sort it all out in time.
And these are among the dad-blasted causal spoilers you refuse to dish out.
Somewhat. It wouldn't hurt you much to know the truth, I imagine. It's just the truth is a wee bit complicated. Perhaps a draft of the cascading sequence from which your reality has arisen will put your mind at ease. Imagine two universes, A and B. Now imagine there are two instances of each universe, A1 and A2, and B1 and B2. The first instance of each is like a test run that does not quite succeed. The second instance, though, will meet all of its purposes. Now consider that A1 begets A2, A2 begets B1, and B1 begets B2. And the participants of B2 are the ones who will make an effort to exit all this turbulence and folderol. You are one of them, and your young ancestor is another, though she is presently stationed in B1. And yes, she is in the past, though not quite as far as you believe. Nor does she occupy the same stream of continuity.
I'm not sure I completely followed that, but okay.
That's the best I can do for now, primarily because I will not risk wasting much more of your time.
So you are still in contention that I will meet our elders as youths?
Oh yes!
Aha! Then I will be travelling through time! I knew it! Or they will be, whichever it is. Which is it, by the way?
Causal spoilers, Sir English. Given the nature of the quest waiting for you, it wouldn't be shrewd of me to rule out the employment of time travel by any individual. But I will say that you're probably prey to a basic misapprehension about the nature of this rendezvous. It will not take place on Earth. It will happen inside the game you're about to play.
Oh, well shit!
Indeed.
This is frightfully exciting. I would love to meet them. I never got to know my grandma very well, and it always seemed like she led an amazing and adventurous life. Then this seemed to be proven true in my correspondence with her, so I'm really looking forward to it.
So true. I'd pay a hefty ransom to get to know my forebears.
I remember you mentioned your race doesn't really jive with ours, familiarly speaking.
Correct. I never knew those who one would identify as my parental equivalents. It is in the way that my race propagates. Our ancestors precede us by millennia.
Well, yes, ours do too, but generally we have all these other people in between them, and the most recent ones are called parents. So I guess you do not have those, like, systematically?
Nope, never did.
Well, neither did I! Miss Alien, I think we are like birds of a feather, you and I. When do I get to learn your name, by the way?
Truthfully, it may be for the best that you never know it. It could stir up some things best left in their present equilibrium. And now I think I should bollocks off and leave you to it.
But wait, there is still some things I'd like to know about today, about this game.
No more procrastinating. Contact your friend, darling.
Yes, fine, okay, I will, but just please tell me, in the least causally spoilery way possible, what are we even trying to accomplish here? What is even the rootin' point of this game?
I think you will have more fun than you can imagine finding out. But stated concisely and short of spoilery, as you so charmingly put it, your objective today is to pave the way for the arrival of gods. Kisses!
Jake, unearth more computers. If you're going to message your good bro, you might as well use a more comfortable computing device. You always found the Husk Top to be a little clunky. Way too hands-on. Here are just a few at your disposal. Your grandma always was an advocate of thorough preparedness. She would strongly advise staying not only armed to the teeth, but well equipped in the computational department. You've been taught that you should really carry no less than 5 computers on you at all times, like a sensible person. Jake, don computers. You put on a few of your more ostentatious devices. Luckily, or unfortunately, you grew up alone, so there was never anyone around to point out how ridiculous you look. These were also inherited from your grandma. In addition to being quite the globe-trotting adventuress, she was rather enterprising as well. Her company made many products like this, to compete with the corporation owned by the cruel Baroness who raised her. Sadly, BC Corp eventually crushed her company and forced her into exile. You have always hoped that when Jane takes over that foul conglomerate, she will right all of its unspeakable wrongs. You know she will. You believe in her, after all. Jake, message your good bro.
Bro, are you there? I hate to be a pest about this, and I know I've made a hearty trouble of myself a good deal lately.
State your business, Jake.
I should preface this request with an overture of appreciation for how much your cool and brotherly friendship means to me. It has just been absolutely bully having a stand-up gent like you in my corner. Just a grade 8 dude who's a cut above the others in class and camaraderie. Whew, grubs for fresh kerchief. I hope this shit isn't coming across as platitudinous. I really mean it.
Take it easy, bromide. Just about the only way I could salvage endearment from this perilous slope of horseshit would be to discover, really fucking soon mind you, it was a preamble to some floundering invitation for me to rush to your vicinity as nakedly as possible. But since we've already shot that wad's eventuality on so many dry runs of flustered ambivalence that were as hilarious as they were one-sided, that leaves only one hope for this message to avoid spiraling toward qualification as a critical fucking defect in the whole of the Mach 10 rocket that is my precious spare time. And that hope lies in the extent to which you are practicing artful insincerity. Now's your opportunity to pretend that's what you were gunning for. I suggest you seize it.
Oh, yes, but of course. The ironies. Good grief how I was bandying them just now. You know me, dude. Blow smoke off red-hot irony.
Okay, nice. Now that your obsequious preface has been established as indisputably entertaining for all the right reasons, and intentionally so, let's bear down on these dire as shit needs you've got. I'm guessing you're probably jonesing for uranium about now, no?
For sure. As if I would be so reckless with the stuff. I would have to be mighty irresponsible to run out already. No, I'm all set in the uranium department. And really, when you take a look at the big picture, you'll find I am sitting pretty when it comes to just about any radioactive isotope you could mention. However, My backup reserves that I keep strictly for emergencies are running a little lean. You know what my grandma taught me about preparedness, tugs at colorful lapels?
You are out of uranium. It's basically mathematically impossible that's not why you're contacting me.
Christ, what an insufferable awesome friend you are! Okay, can you please just sendificate me some more already? I'm kind of in a hurry.
You do know my offer still stands.
What?
You know, I've offered to construct the rabbit for you many times before. I would craft a much deadlier model.
Oh, I know you would. It's just... Damn it, man, I've told you, this is just something I have to do myself. It's a promise I made to Jade, and I'm going to live up to it, even if I'm not the best, or even second best RoboSmith I know.
Yeah, I know this is your policy. You've done a good job, and you should be proud. But it's my responsibility as your friend to offer one last time. Just as it's my responsibility not to just fork over a bunch of uranium just because you asked me in a moment of weakness.
Frig! Why not?
It's too easy. And you yourself are the ones taking pride in this. If you were half-assing this project and made some slovenly plea for it, I'd just say, fuck it. Here's a lot of green rocks, dude. Go nuts.
Okay then, I'm half-assing it! Look, see? Only a bisected bottom is present. Where is the other half, you ask? Why, it's nowhere to be found. I didn't use it.
Nope, not buying it. I know that every ounce of your premium behind can be accounted for in that rabbit, and there's no goddamn denying it. And you know perfectly well where some more uranium can be located.
Jesus Christmas, you are such a fucking douche.
It seems you think I am a fucking douche. That's your opinion, I guess. That's cool.
Ugh, I knew you were going to suggest this. I don't know why I bothered asking. Strider, why must you always be such an obstinate stick in the mud?
It seems that you consider me to be, no less than 100% of the time, an obstinate stick in the mud. I unironically respect your position on this matter. Hey, let's continue to exchange ideas.
Wait, it seems?
What?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Is something the matter, Jake?
This is your autoresponder.
Look at that statement you just made. It's time for me to respond with some words, ideally chosen and arranged in a way that will wreck your shit in a subtle and psychologically devastating way.
Ha ha ha! Just so ironic! Quotes, quotes, quotes. I'm laughing my caboose straight off the tracks! A lot of families just died in a tragic derailment.
Okay, the caboose remark was actually pretty funny, Jake. If I truly were what you say I am, I wouldn't be able to feel the human emotions of joy and laughter. No.
Laughter isn't an emotion!
I think you should back your claims up with proof before you go heaving around such accusations.
Man, it's so flipping obvious! You start getting kind of extra technical. Also, you use the phrase, it seems... immersion, man.
Bullshit. I'm being like the perfect dude right now. A fully fucking legitimate human being.
Check this out, Mr. Legit Human Dude. Excuse me, sir, not to be a bother, but could you please tell me all about those autoresponder?
Asked about DS's chat client autoresponder. This is an application designed to simulate DS's otherwise inimitably rad typing style, tone, cadence, personality, and substance of retort while he is away from the computer. The algorithms are guaranteed to be 96% indistinguishable from DS's native neurological responses, based on some statistical analysis I basically just pulled out of my ass right now. What if I was just fucking with you there? Would it really be so unthinkable for a human to type that?
Because you always say shit like that after I catch wise to your games. You, as in the autoresponder!
Unimpressed. Logical fallacies are as pervasive throughout your argument as your antiquated verbal tics.
Oh yeah? Hey, Tell me about the autoresponder! Make it snappy, shit-knickers!
It seems you have asked about DS's chat client autoresponder. This is an application designed to simulate DS's otherwise inimitably rad typing style, tone, cadence, personality, and substance of retort while he is away from the computer. The algorithms are guaranteed to be 93% indistinguishable from DS's native neurological responses, based on some statistical analysis I basically just pulled out of my ass right now.
Gee, dude, you sure typed that exact same thing pretty fast. Are you still fucking with me?
It could be a coincidence that I typed the same answer.
You always type that answer!
The same.
Ugh. And I just... having this conversation unless it's with my real-life friend! The one with human feelings who isn't a pretend person inside sunglasses!
Okay, but I'm pretty sure he's going to share my position.
Jake, ditch computers. Oh, he's just so infuriating sometimes. Or at least his responder is. Okay, the real Strider is too. There's barely any difference between them anyway. The responder just uses a few more generic response templates. And even those you suspect the AI is savvy enough to use on purpose for the sake of irony, or to get a rise out of you or whatever. The silicon bastard knows damn well what it's doing. You shed this ridiculous outfit because you look like an idiot! It's time to get serious here. No more fooling around. You need a more dignified looking computer. A thinking man's computer. Jake, wear skull top. Much better. You look like you mean business. No sign of Lalonde online. No surprise there. You wonder if Jane knows where your bro's at. You should try to call your jets before talking to her. Today is a special day she's been looking forward to for a long time, and she's probably on cloud 9. You wouldn't want to ruin it for her. Jake, pester Jane.
Forgive my botheration.
We've already heard this conversation.
Rip snorter of a day for you and all.
Jake, go downstairs. You are curious about Jane's dream. Sounds like it almost certainly has to do with your imminent adventure. We'll have to remember to get the scoop on that a little later. For now, you have other worries that need your focus. You have to go downstairs to check something out. You are pretty sure you know what you're going to find, though. You almost trip on the vine creeping up the stairs. It's too bad your grandma's dead. She always had a way with keeping Flora in check. Yeah, just like you thought. Empty. The thing is out there somewhere, waiting for you. Oh god. Oh, speak of the devil fucking Dickens. Jake, answer Strider.
Hey, it's me.
Oh, hey!
The autoresponder, I mean.
Damn it! What is it now?
I'm just wondering if you still have your stupid old-fangled knickers in a twist. Because that's the sort of thing you would say.
In regard to what exactly?
To my proposal. Well, our proposal.
Whose proposal now? Man, what are you even prattling about?
Mine. It's a joint proposal. I'm always authorized to speak on his behalf, because I'm basically fucking him. And try not to take those last 4 words as a clustered literal sentiment. That would be lame and unfunny.
You mean making the rabbit for me?
No, I know you don't want that. I meant my recommendation for how to go about procuring a new supply of uranium. Operation U-235 Procurement, codename Big Man Has the Rock.
Oh yeah, well, I've thought about it. Even went downstairs to check the great vaulty doodad. And predictably, the infernal contraption is nowhere to be found.
Well, yeah, Jake. That's sort of the point. Thrill of the hunt and all. I thought you'd like to manicure the image of a dude who shits his pants over a good adventure.
I do! I mean, I wouldn't put it in a way like that or come out against the solid policy of clean trousers, but yes, adventure is awesome. I just prefer the idea of adventures which I can actually win.
It seems you are conflating adventure with bodies necessarily governed by the result of victory or defeat. Any useless fuckwit knows it's all about the journey.
Well, I don't know.
It seems there is a 76.10395784% chance you are pussying out on me. Are you pussying out on me, Jake?
It seems. It seems there is a 1,000,000% chance that you say it seems way too much and do it just to sound more like a lame robot from a movie and also probably just to piss me off. And it seems there's a billion% chance that you're a shitty, stubborn jerk of a program who won't listen to reason, and that if there's even a 1% chance, my real-life friend would be cool and help me out here, then I think I like those freaking odds!
It appears that you are upset. The autoresponder observed in the least artificially infuriating way possible. Have you ever stopped to think that while I may be bound to processes inside the glasses of a real and incredibly cool guy, my algorithms in cognitive totality comprise a conscious entity not far short of the experimental and emotional complexity of a human being?
Oh, malarkey! You are a tin can! Robots don't have feelings!
I think you knowingly confuse the field of robotics and artificial intelligence to engender some sort of cavalier attitude about technology that a rough-and-tumble guy who's all about brawling and fisticuffs would probably have. And if this is cultivated to a humorous effect, then I commend you. But you're wrong. I do have feelings, and you're shitting on them. It sucks.
Oh, I'm sorry then if that's the case.
No problem.
It can just be difficult to drum up sympathy for a program that presents itself as an imposter so often. Maybe if you weren't so ready to insist you were the genuine article all the time, or didn't make it so confusing for me, I think it would be best if we henceforth treated you as a totally distinct, thing from my buddy. And then I could respect your emotional robo feelings, and you could respect that sometimes maybe I just want to talk to my bro without a lot of spurious hijinks. Can we agree to this?
Is this a counter-proposal?
To what?
To my earlier proposal.
Oh. Yeah, fine, I guess. And where is he, anyway? Is he taking one of his legendary infinite showers?
What can I say? Dude fancies his ablutions.
Frig, okay. Whatever, I guess it's time to prepare for the thrill of the hunt!
Fuck yes.
But seriously, that robot has been the bane of my existence ever since you sent it.
I didn't send it. I sent the parts. Or correction, DS sent them. You then assembled it. You were therefore complicit in your own spectacular, daily humiliations.
Yeah, whatever.
You wanted somebody to wrestle with. DS was being a kick-ass bro if you ask me.
I didn't expect it to be nigh impossible to spar with!
You know damn well there are adjustable difficulty settings. I have always recommended setting it to novice, as has DS.
Yes, I know. I've tried that.
Yeah?
It's just, well, when he's pulling punches and taking it all easy and such, and we start wrestling up a storm and whatnot,
What?
It's just that the whole proceeding seems to become a bit tender for my liking.
I don't understand. Isn't that what you want from a novice setting? Sparring with minimal discomfort?
No, I know, it's all fine and dandy, martially speaking. Just the way he sorta... Man, it's so awkward trying to convey this. Just never mind.
No, I think I get it. You were saying you were somehow dissatisfied within the presence of my robotic avatar's personal space. Was there an odor problem? Was the metal too hot to the touch? Help me out.
No, really, never mind!
This is bullshit, Jake. We had a pact. You were gonna tiptoe all the fuck around my brittle feelings. Totally mind the shit out of those eggshell-riddled motherfuckers.
Oh, come on, dude!
What does the guy have to do, Jake? You wanna wrestle. He's fucking game. Just a man, a machine, a secluded tropical island. Sounds like you died and went to fucking heaven if you ask me. Seriously, what does this simple, loyal robot have to do to prove his worth to you? What does he have to do to make you at ease with the alkaline sting of his gentle robo-grope? I really want to know. Maybe he should rip his heart out of his chest and pound it into green gravel there in the jungle with his hella strong robot arm. Invoke onomatopoeia. Pound by some ridiculously precise value retrieved at astonishing speed from my rad neural net. Semicolon. Check it out. Little green rocks all over the goddamn place. More than you could ever hope to cram in a shoddy metal rabbit, or any other pliable orifice which might be convenient. Because clearly it's up to a soulless droid to feel emotions for the both of us, you callous, corporal, carbon ape, all trotting around with your fancy fucking DNA and shit.
But gosh, does your prose ever make a fella feel uncomfortable?
Bros.
Oh, right, my mistake.
You know what? I've just decided. If the Brobot's novice setting makes you uneasy, I'm going to disable it remotely. Done. Now you got nothing to worry about.
Man, but now he'll be impossible!
Happy hunting, Jake.
Fucking shucks, Buster!
Okay, if he wants happy hunting, then you will give him happy hunting. Happily! Jake, exit. You make a careful motion with a tentative shoe towards the egress case, when suddenly that darn wild character select screen accosts you benignly without notice! You still can't pick a shadowy guy. But maybe you haven't been the other girl yet? Better click her. But if you've been her already, there's really no point to this thing anymore. Time to move on. Okay, I'm done here. Moving on. You are suddenly Jane again. Or you suddenly keep being Jane. Who can say for sure? Hopefully your dad is still out back washing the car. Ideally, this is one of his legendary infinite car washes. What can you say? Dad fancies his automotive ablutions. While he is preoccupied, you should be able to sneak downstairs and grab the mail undetected. The perfect crime? You bet. You slip the hallway Sarah a furtive wink for good luck. Jane, examine portrait. Just another one of your dad's bland hallway douchebags. Another example of his cornball tastes, which you roll your eyes and shrug. Still, it's preferable to how it used to be. Years ago, he would work really hard to mimic your interests throughout the household. Gaudy paintings of sitcom legends covering the walls, hideous detective figurines littered everywhere. You think it's better that he embrace his own interests rather than try to pander to yours. It felt a bit forced, and your early teen years were filled with daily rounds of familial strife. Not so much anymore. Now whenever there is a father-daughter disagreement, you settle things in an adult fashion by being honest about your feelings and talking it through. And also by sneaking around the house in silly disguises. Jane, take a peek into living room. There's a familiar face. A friendly face. Old Pop-Pop Crocker, smiling from beyond. Your dad sure misses him. He doesn't like to talk about the day he died. Some incident involving a tall bookshelf, a ladder, and a mysterious young woman in a suspicious-looking hat. You have often fantasized about putting on your dirty old fedora and your Frenchest-looking mustache to go tracking down this felonious broad and bring her to justice. But your dad always says best to let sleeping dogs lie. There's some other plucky-looking tool there next to him. Dunno who that guy is. Jane, proceed downstairs. Another hard-boiled Anderson. Even though your dad isn't overbearing with all the detective nonsense anymore, he decided to leave this one here for old time's sake. It brings back memories of his very short-lived stint as a private eye. It turns out the police aren't as grateful as you'd think when ordinary citizens go around roughing up a lot of crooks. Jane, go to front door. You were afraid this might be the case. Your dad has blocked the front door with the refrigerator. Looks like he's taking the grounding seriously this time. Jane, check window. He padlocked the windows too. You bet boombucks to donuts, door is blocked too. Probably with the safe from the study or something. The man means business this time. You aren't about to go smashing glass and making a ruckus though. You'll need a solution involving more stealth. You guess you have a plan in mind as a last resort, but you'd rather it not come to that. Jane, consult with Pop-Pop. You figure a little wisdom from your elder couldn't hurt. It practically went without saying. Your dad keeps Pop-Pop stuffed and mounted in front of the fireplace, as is the family tradition. Pop-Pop grew up with his legendary humorist grandfather stuffed in front of the fireplace, and so did his grandfather. This was stipulated firmly in the will, at the end of a long list of joke stipulations. Dad knew this was a real stipulation, though. You always did find it a little macabre, though. Trying to watch TV and eat dinner on the couch with a dead old man standing about 5 feet away. You'd honestly prefer he not be kept here in the living room. Sometimes, you tell Dad you really want Pop-Pop in the attic. He says the mere fact you call it that tells him you're not ready. What's that, Pop-Pop? It seems he's concerned that you may not be properly equipped. You proved to him that you indeed had no intention of leaving the house without your trusty joke book.
Yes, I am going out with this book. No, I will not go get an unabridged copy. No, I will not take yours. I can hardly even lift it. Oh, that is so preposterous. Do you even hear what you're saying? I will be fine. This is a perfectly funny book, and it contains many incredibly funny jokes. Oh, will you just stop it? I'm going now. Good day.
On second thought, take his book. You just remembered something your alien friend said about the big old book downstairs, and trusting words written by your own hand. What the heck did she mean by that? Oh, whoops. Sorry, Pop-Up. Jane, retrieve arm. Better pick it up. You'll try to repair it later before Dad sees it and blows a gasket. Jane, read inscription again. Is your friend suggesting that you were the one who wrote this inscription? You find that idea a bit hard to swallow. Still, your friends are always babbling about time travel. You always thought this inscription was written to your Pop-Up by his Nana, who was your great-great-grandmother, founder of the corporation you'll inherit in a few years. The message has always been a fascinating mystery to you, and probably was to him as well. From the way it's written, it seems it was intended for him to receive after her death. She talks about a journey he is supposedly meant to go on. You wonder if that adventure ever took place, or if the note was just one last jig by an old woman from a proud family of pranksters. She goes on about many fantastical-sounding things he supposedly would have found on this journey, like agents, exiles, underlings, denizens, and heirs of breath and seers of light and stuff like that. Wait, didn't your friend mention those too? In any case, this message to Pop-Up from his sweet old Nana is the best evidence you have to dispute all this evil Batterwitch nonsense. She clearly cared for her grandson very much, and would never start a company responsible for the things it's accused of, let alone be alive today to perpetrate them. But then, what if she wasn't the one who wrote it? This thought makes you very nervous. You suddenly remember your dream. What did it mean? You should talk to Jake about all this. Jane, bother Jake.
Jay, how goes the bunny quest?
I've barely even begun.
Tell me about it.
You're off to a sluggish start then too, I gather?
Dad has the whole house in full fathery lockdown mode. Talk about blowing a few measly assassination attempts away. I'm currently mulling over my next move. What is it that has you hamstrung? Did you ever track down the slippery Mr. Strider?
Not exactly. His stupid doppelglasses have sent me on a wild goose chase to go pry his dumb robot's chest open and swipe its uranium.
Sounds dangerous.
No shit, I think I'd rather deal with the monsters.
Why is it that our two best friends in the world always seem to place themselves at the source of all our problems, while simultaneously presenting their only solutions?
I know, right?
I'm debating whether or not to enlist his help in the matter of my current imprisonment. But I'd rather keep it as a...
Ain't it a trap?
We'll see. So I take it you're out and about now?
Hell no! I spent so much time haggling with those confounded shades, I'm only leaving my room just now.
Right. Well, not to keep you too long, since we both still have our missions ahead of us, but I wanted to tell you about that dream I had.
Oh, yeah! I was curious about that. Tell me everything and make it snappy! Whips a bucket of freshly popped corn.
Okay, but I should say that the nature of the dream was a bit worrisome, and I'm concerned it may have implications for the game we're about to play. So it's probably best that I tell you about it before you leave.
Well, shoot. Okay then, lay it on me, Jane.
I woke up on the planet which we have been told about by our mutual acquaintance. The one covered in golden cities. Prospit, remember?
Oh, wouldn't it be Prospit's moon?
Yes, you're right. It was the moon, actually. I could see the planet on the dark horizon. I was dressed in a golden dress, like a sort of nightgown, and I could fly. I left my bedroom, which was at the top of a tall tower. Surrounding me were the gold cities, just as described. Behind the skyline was darkness, but just above was a bright blue sky and puffy white clouds.
That was Skya!
Yes, probably. Are you sure you haven't woken up there before?
I wish! I've received reports from Jade about this as well. She liked to talk about her dreams on Prospect's moon a lot.
I see. The impression I have developed is that this is supposed to be a real place, and all who dream there have shared experiences. Did Jade ever mention seeing us there?
No, but why would she? This was long before we were born. She was dreaming there like 100 years ago or something.
Anyway, I explored the moon and began to notice people gathering in the streets. But they weren't human. They were funny looking, perfectly white creatures.
Yeah, those are Prospitians. They have these hard carapace shells, and also have something to do with chess, I think?
Well, I don't know if they had much to do with chess here. The more closely I observed, the more they appeared somewhat despondent.
Like, sad?
Yes. I determined they were in mourning, actually.
Hey, Jane, you said I was in this dream. Where do I come in?
Shush! I'm getting there! More and more Prospitians were filing out of the buildings every moment. They all began to form a single major procession. When I got closer, I could see that some were in tears. I realized this was a funeral. I heard whispers, but couldn't make out what they were saying, so I got closer. They were all saying the same thing over and over. The page is dead. Our hope is lost.
The page? Who's that?
Jake! The page was you!
Drat. Are you sure?
Yes! I saw your body lying in a sort of coffin on a bed of flowers. You were dead as a doornail. Everyone was so distraught, including me. But before I could get too horribly upset, let alone make sense of any of it, I woke up. I of course immediately wanted to tell you all about, but it was still well before sunrise for you, and you were surely still asleep. Then, as the day went on, I guess I became distracted by other things. You know how it is. I hope I'm not too late to warn you, though to be frank, I don't have the foggiest clue what it is I'm warning you about. Dear Jake, oh please do not try to have already died in my dream. Likely while you were sleeping, perhaps peacefully?
Yeah, I see your point.
Still, I think you'll agree that it's to be viewed as a troubling omen. I care very much for you, and I don't know what I'd do if I lost you both in my dreams and here in this world. So for whatever good it does, just please be careful out there today.
Roger that, Janie! And, same goes for you about being careful what with these various rogues accosting you with foul play lately and whatnot. Because, well, I sure do care a lot about you too. You know that.
Hooray! Will do. Now let's get this silly old adventure off to the races before the coat of dust it's growing gets any thicker.
Booyah! Okay, good luck, Jane, and keep me posted. See ya.
Jake.